AI just created an image that took a human artist 6 months to paint, and it did it in 30 seconds. That's not science fiction anymore. That's what's happening right now, and honestly, it's getting kind of terrifying. Hey, I'm Arkansas. Welcome back to the channel. If you've noticed AI art getting weirdly better lately, you're not imagining it. There's actually a bunch of technical reasons why 2026 is shaping up to be the year AI art went from cute party trick to legitimately indistinguishable from professional work. And today, I want to break down exactly what changed, why it matters, and what it means for artists, creators, and basically anyone who cares about the future of visual content. Let's start with the elephant in the room. A few years ago, AI art was rough. You'd ask it to draw a hand, and you'd get something that looked like it came from a nightmare. 5 fingers going in directions that shouldn't exist. Eyes in weird places. Proportions completely broken. But if you've used any of the major tools recently, Midjourney, dall-e 3, Stable Diffusion, you've probably noticed that era is over. The hands look like hands. The eyes are where eyes should be. And more importantly, the style is getting crazy specific. So what actually changed? There are 3 big technical leaps that happened between 2024 and 2026, and understanding these will help you see why artists are rightfully freaking out. First one is better training data. In the early days, AI art models were trained on massive datasets scraped from the internet. Billions of images, basically everything. But here's the problem. The internet is messy. You've got low-quality images mixed with high-quality ones. Copyrighted work mixed with open-source stuff. Blurry phone photos next to professional shots. It's like trying to learn to cook by watching every cooking video ever made, including the bad ones. By 2025 and into 2026, the companies building these models got way more selective. They started using curated datasets, higher quality images, better labeled, more diverse. Some models started focusing specifically on certain styles or mediums. You get a model trained mainly on classical painting, another one trained on photography, another on digital illustration. This is huge because now when you ask an AI to create something in the style of oil painting, it actually understands oil painting at a deep level, not just pattern-matching vague brushstroke-ish stuff. The second big thing is diffusion model improvements. I know, technical term, but stick with me because this is actually cool. Diffusion models are how most of these tools work now. Basically, the AI learns by starting with pure noise, just random pixels, and then learning how to gradually remove that noise to create an image that matches your prompt. It's like reverse chaos theory. But the math behind it got way better. In 2026, the models got smarter about understanding what's important in an image and what's not. They learned to prioritize details better. So when you ask for a portrait, it knows to spend more thinking power on the face and hands, and less on getting every pixel of the background perfect. This means faster generation and way better quality. Plus, the models got better at understanding composition, lighting, and depth. These aren't new concepts, but the AI's understanding of how these things work together, that's what leveled up. The third thing is fine-tuning and customization. This is where it gets genuinely wild. You can now train a model on specific artists' work, specific styles, or even your own reference images. It's called LoRa training or low-rank adaptation. Basically, you can take a base model and teach it your specific vision with relatively little compute power. Artists started doing this themselves, creating their own AI tools trained on their own style. Some of them are using it to speed up their workflow. Others are frankly worried it'll replace them. But here's where it gets scary. These improvements compound. Better training data plus smarter diffusion math plus easy customization means you don't just get one good AI art tool. You get 1,000 variations, each one optimized for different things. Photorealism, anime, oil painting, concept art, character design. Each one is getting legitimately better at what it's trained to do. Now let's talk about what scary good actually means in practice. In early 2024, if you wanted AI to generate a character, you'd get something decent but generic. By mid-2025, you could get something stylistically interesting. In 2026, you can get something that matches a specific mood, a specific artist's influence, a specific technical execution. The consistency is insane. You can generate multiple images, and they actually feel like they're from the same world, the same artist. There's also the speed factor. These models are running on better hardware. GPUs got faster. The algorithms got more efficient. What used to take a minute now takes seconds. What used to be a creative bottleneck, waiting for the AI to think, is basically gone now. You can iterate. You can explore. You can use AI as an actual creative tool instead of just a novelty. But I want to be real with you about why this is scary to a lot of people, especially artists. Because here's the thing, we're not talking about replacing human creativity yet. We're talking about something that can do the execution part of creative work faster and cheaper than humans can. And that's the threat, right? Not that AI will be more creative, but that it'll make the mechanical, technical parts of art, the part that takes skill and time to develop, basically free. A concept artist used to spend weeks refining a character design. Now you can get something in that ballpark in an afternoon with AI, then spend a few hours refining it. The time investment changes dramatically. The barrier to entry for certain types of creative work drops to basically zero. That's not necessarily bad. It democratizes creation. But it also means the value of that execution skill drops. There's also the copyright issue, which I'm not going to fully untangle here because it's genuinely complicated and still being litigated. But basically, these models were trained on artists' work without permission or compensation. That's a real problem. Some of the improvements we're seeing in 2026 are because companies got better at licensing data, or creating synthetic training data, or using opt-in artist contributions. But the legal and ethical stuff is still messy. Here's what I think matters most, though. AI art in 2026 is a tool. Like Photoshop, like 3D modeling software, like photography was for painting. It's not magic. It's not sentient. It's not going to replace human artists because human creativity isn't just about execution. It's about vision, intent, meaning. What it will do is change what kind of work is valuable. Execution skills become less valuable. Vision and direction become more valuable. The artists who are going to thrive in this new landscape are the ones who use AI as a tool to realize their vision faster, not the ones who compete with AI on pure technical execution. That's already happening. Some of the best concept artists in the industry are now using AI to speed up their ideation and iteration. They're not pretending it didn't happen. They're adapting. So where does this go from here? If the trend continues, and there's no reason to think it won't, we're probably looking at AI art tools that are so good and so accessible that they become basically invisible. Just part of the creative toolkit. Like how you don't think about Photoshop being AI anymore, even though it uses machine learning for a bunch of stuff. But we'll probably also see a cultural shift where authentically human-made art becomes more valued, more premium. You see this already happening with AI-free badges and handmade verification. There's definitely going to be a market segment that specifically wants human-created work. Whether that's enough to sustain artists who want to work purely on execution, that's the real question. What I know for sure is that 2026 is a turning point. This is the year AI art stopped being a curiosity and started being a legitimate tool that's genuinely good enough to matter. The technology is past the hype phase. It's just real now. If you want to stay on top of how AI is actually changing creative work, the job market, and basically everything else, hit that subscribe button. We break down this stuff every week in plain English. No hype, no BS. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.